let me run Mexican Watts down to you. Okay, the oldest neighborhood in Watts. See, I mentioned Hardin earlier. Okay, but Hardin is Watts Willowbrook. Okay, and then sometimes they say Compton. Okay, now Quarter Watts is a clique from Colonia Watts. See, when Colonia means a colony. See, the Watts Towers is in Colonia Watts. Okay, and they've been there. I know it's definitely 40s, but maybe even before that. Okay, and the Hardin, see, a lot of them things starts out in little team, baseball teams, and little stuff like that, and then it became clubs. Okay, then you had Colonia Watts, you had the Hardin, you had Palomars, you had Hickory Street, you had Grape Street, and what else is it? I think that's it.
What about Quarter Watts?
Yeah, quarter is Watts too. Okay, but it's in the Colonia. WCW. Yeah, that stands for Wagon Street. Colonia Watts. That's just a section.
Okay.
Of Watts. Okay, and cause when I came to Edison in '55, Florence was fighting Palomars. Okay, and that's why that's more up by Firestone. Oh, there where Harrison Ross mortuary is on the north side of Firestone is the Palomars. Okay, and also right there what they call Bishops. Okay, all that's some of Palomar. Okay, now Elm Street Watts. Yeah, I left out Elm Street. That's what I was trying to think of. Elm Street Watts is from Firestone to 92nd, and in and abouts and arounds there. Okay, and it goes like this: Colonia Watts or Quarter Watts, Palomar, and the Hardin are the three oldest ones. Okay, then you have, I think it goes Elm, Hickory, and then Grape. Okay, Grape Street Watts, which is Watts Vadio Grape. Okay, Grape Street Watts as we know it now that are black. Okay, Watts Vadio Grape had been out already. Yeah, in fact, it was out during the '60s. See, it's Hickory. See, Watts Vadio Grape is the last Watts. But now here they got Southside Watts and all kinds of, but Watts Vadio Grape is the last one. Yes, as far as my knowledge is concerned. Okay, because I kept seeing guys, in high school and junior high, getting jumped in and new neighborhoods starting. Okay, and so they lapsed us. But in Watts Vadio Grape, you had black dudes. Say, okay, and a lot of Watts, I said, one of the dudes from Quarter Watts, I didn't mention him when he went to Reach too. I never knew his first name, but his last name is Biddles. See, all them old dudes know him. Okay, he's dead now, I think, but Biddles is a black dude from Watts. And he was from Quarter Watts. Okay, now they also had a Mexican dude who became was he a champion at one time? Raul Rojas. He went to Reese with me. He was a year older than me. When I stayed on 71st, I saw him coming down the street and started talking to him. And he was a boxer. He was a real tough dude. And so Grape Street Watts, as we know it, okay, they obviously got their name from the street Grape right there, or some of the dudes was in Watts Vadio Grape, and the guys from what they call Grape Street Watts hooked up or whatever. See, but Grape Street Watts, as we know it, they're way late and in name. That doesn't mean they weren't there. And see, the reason why we never understood how come the blacks in Watts wasn't like close to the Mexicans as we were up here. But see, Mexicans lived all over Watts, but they was concentrated in a certain section. That's what they call the Colonia. And that's a colony. See, and they were concentrated there. Okay, and so, and they're very to self and whatever and everything. And if you went over there, you could party and stuff if you were cool. Like I told you that Billy Hicks was from Quarter Watts, okay, and a lot of other blacks. It's matter of fact, I think Johnny B. Good before he became Florence, he used to live in Watts. Johnny Smith, he was half black and Mexican, real fool. Yeah, and it's a lot. It's just a lot of guys that are in gangs. Just like there's a half black and Mexican dude named Skipper William Johnson, got a brother named Bobby. Okay, he's from CV3, Compton, Barrio Tres. That's a bad boy. Right? He's a nut. I don't even know if he's still alive. But see, all them neighborhoods, see, in the old neighborhoods, especially back in the 1940s all the way to the 50s, see, they probably only in East LA, not Boyle Heights. I'm saying East LA, where they had Mexican gangs, but also there were Asians, or where they were probably had 90% all Mexicans. But in Boyle Heights, which is Aliso Village, which is Dogtown, which is Ramona Gardens, which is basically, Happy Valley is the other side of Ramona Gardens, so I guess you have to include that too. And Aliso Village is flats, and Pico, Aliso Pico, your first flats, Cuatro Flats, White Fence, Le Loyo Soto. See, nobody's mentioning Loyo Soto. See, all of those neighborhoods right there had to have some blacks in them. See, and some Asians.
What about Dogtown?
Oh, Dogtown. Okay. Now, when I used to go to Dogtown, I never really paid that much attention when I was a kid, because my uncle lived on Ann and Bloom. Okay, and I knew Tiger, I knew Joey Luna. If you mention those two names in Dogtown today, everybody go, yeah. See, and it was somebody else from Dogtown. I only went there as a kid a few times, but I went there the night I got busted in '67, and went to '77. I'm in at a party in the Ochentas, and I'm taking Tiger and Joey Luna to Dogtown. Okay, but we go from 92nd between Main and Wall, and we get busted on 85th and San Pedro, and I had a piece. I had a 49 slantback, 4-door P green Chevy, and we go to jail, but I cut everybody loose because it was my gun. And I ride my own beef. Okay, so Dogtown it's always had blacks. In fact, there's a few down there now. I took some guys down there. I had mentioned to them they'd never seen it. Okay, and that was probably about a year, 2 years. It looked like maybe 2 years ago.
Do you know where the name comes from?
Yeah. Okay, let me explain it to you. Mm-hmm. I used to always know about Dogtown, but I knew what it's supposed to been, from the dog pound. Okay, but I never saw it. So one night in 1972, my old lady was living in La Puente. Okay, and says, now you don't have to get on the freeway to come back to LA from out there. So I came down Valley Boulevard from La Puente. It's damn near 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Saying Valley Boulevard will bring you to North Main, and you'll come right to Dogtown, because North Main runs into Valley Boulevard, where Lincoln Park is. And so they had tore some buildings down. And I'm getting ready to run. It's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and the light turns red. But I was going to go through it, but I said, it'd be one of them psycho jockeys around the corner. One of them motorcycle cops. And just sitting there waiting for some fool to run the red light and give me a ticket, so I decided not to run. Okay, so I'm sitting there. I hear all of these dogs barking. I said, God damn. And then, see, all them other years, all those other buildings used to be where they had tore down some buildings, and the LA Public City Dog Pound was right over there off of, what's the last street in Dogtown coming south? I can't think of the name of the last street. But, okay, the project to this side, and on the west side of Maine, going toward, like, where, other side of downtown, is the dog pound, the original LA dog pound. And those, it was so many dogs brought me, I said, oh, I got it now. If you go in Dogtown right now, at the little elementary school right there, they got a big old bulldog painted on the, let you know you in Dogtown. See, and that's why they call it Dogtown. See, the name of it was William Meade Projects. See, in fact, he's the dude that came with the project system, and thing. I think that's the way it was. See, projects were homes built, they say for low-income families. That was also true, but for servicemen's families and stuff also. Guys away in service and the family, and you're low income, you're in the projects. And by mentioning low income, this word I've been hearing, ghetto, Talking about L.A. and South Central, the ghetto. Ain't no ghetto in South Central. Ghetto was back there in New York and Chicago and Philadelphia, and them slums and shit that they got over there. Our Skid Row looks better than shit back there. See, the last governor, Mexican governor of California, was Pio de Jesus Pico, born in San Gabriel on May the 5th, what was he, 18th, so I can't think about it. I remember this, May the 5th. Okay, he was the last mayor, I mean not mayor, the last governor of California. Okay, but he was black, Mexican. There was one Mexican governor before him, Manuel Victoria. The street, that's Victoria Street right across Crenshaw, and all that, and the Victoria Street and down there by Cal State Dominguez Hills, that's named after him. He was a black Mexican. Him and Pico didn't get along. They used to call him the black governor, Manuel Victoria. Okay, Pio Pico is with Pico Street, Pico Rivera, and Pico everything was named after. Okay, if you don't believe me, all you gotta do is go down to Olvera Street and go over there to that Pico house and go to the Mercedes Hotel. That's the first three-story building built in Los Angeles, belonging to Pico's.
Let me ask you about drugs and alcohol. Have you ever did drugs or alcohol?
Now, that's a funny question. See, you asked me the question, I didn't give you the answer, I just told you it's a funny question. Now, I know people that swear on 17 stacks of Bibles, 5 or 6 Korans, and 8 or 9 Torahs. They tell you that nigga's crazy. He's on drugs. But you can't find a person that can tell you such as so. Okay, because one, I have never put a cigarette up to my mouth, never used no marijuana, no pills, no nothing. I drank a beer from here some occasion, like I told you before. I got a Modelo beer in there, 24-ounce can that the Mexican dude gave me a year and a month ago. Okay, they're still in my refrigerator. I might drink it. I drank beer, but I never used any drugs and stuff. And let me tell you about, cigarette smoking. Okay, when you're in a fight, most people that smoke cigarettes, their wing was shorter and everything. And then if you're smoking cigarettes and you're drinking alcohol and such a song, that shortens up your wind. And saying I had more wind than a lot of people. I told you how people was trying to kick my ass. And I kept, one dude told me, niggas be still. I said, for what? Well, I can kick your ass. I said, shit. And so I kept moving, and you're full of adrenaline, and you coming to get me. And everything. I'm ducking and dodging, you swinging and missing, and I'm tagging. See, that right there makes you get hotter and madder, and you be putting all your force together to try to kick my ass. And I wasn't letting you do that. Okay, so I didn't do drugs, not to this day. Everybody that knows me, anybody you ask, you can ask dudes from other neighborhoods that really know me. They tell no, that nigga, they don't do nothing. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, one time at Reese, we're getting in a fight with Watts. I don't even know which particular group, they have so many of them. And we're doing it, but we're highly outnumbered. And we're slanging like a big dog. Okay, Manuel Talavera from Florence. It was Manuel Talavera, David Barbosa, George Copazzi. Okay, he's like a white boy. George Copazzi. And I think Gabby Loco was there. Gabby Loco. And it was 2 other little dudes that the dudes from Florence jumped in to help us. Okay, now we fighting black dudes now. And Florence seen that, was getting overwhelmed. And so Manuel Talavera jumps up and they jump in and we start slinging them. But when they did that, Baby, Danny Perez, Treetop is a little short dude and they call him Treetop, Jumbo, and somebody else from Quarter Watts, they jumped in with the Watts dudes. So you had Mexicans and blacks fighting Mexicans and blacks. What kind of shit is that? See, and that's really one of the first times I ever heard of that. But I think it has happened before, after that. Another thing I want to say, because Kamasi told me, make sure I mention this. I mentioned Mariano from Little Florence. See, there's always little skirmishes between guys from Florence and guys from Slauson, only because you stepped on somebody's toe. Or you said something, or you looked the wrong way, or you like somebody's girlfriend. Yeah, man, you can't get away from them. Okay, Florence couldn't get away from us, and we couldn't get away from them. They live next door, and same show, same everything, same school, same everything, same parks, same everything. Okay, so Little Slauson they had set it up. We was given no appointment for an ass whooping. So we tell you what day we coming, when we coming, and have all of your boys. Now, if you ain't got all your boys, we got ours. If you come up short, what can I say? So we come, okay, not we, Roach and them little Slausons, the group that he had, who was with him, they go to Roosevelt Park. See, Munson and them used to hang around at Roosevelt Park. Raymond Washington and them hung around in Roosevelt Park and all that. Okay, and the other, whoever else lived over here hung around Roosevelt Park. At the same time they're at Roosevelt Park, it's Florence at Roosevelt Park. See, this black and brown stuff that started later, that started for another reason. It ain't got nothing to do with race. I mean, some people got some racial animosity in there, but it didn't have nothing to do with it. It got something to do with business. See, okay, and I'm not going no further than that on that. Okay, so you always saw the Mexicans all the time. So Roach goes to get down with Mariano now. Okay, they come in from this side, which would be coming from the east. I mean, from the north to the east. Okay, but on the backside of the park across they do, here comes Quarter Watts. On the same day, Quarter Watts is coming to fight Little Florence, and Sloss is coming to fight Little Florence. Okay, so so Roach is talking to Mariano, and they in other words, rules of engagement. How we gonna get out? What you want to do? And all that kind of stuff. And so Roach looks up, 'cause Mariano and them are facing their back is to Nadu, and their faces to the tracks. Okay, Mariano said, "Hey man, y'all fighting somebody else today?" Like that. He said, "Here come the dudes from Watts." And looked up, man, it was a goo gob of Quarter Watts. Okay. And Mariano looks around and sees them, but see, there ain't enough Little Florence there to fight them and us. 'Cause, I mean, they got enough people to do that, but they wasn't there that day. And so what happens is, Rose said, "I'm going to tell you what, Mariano." He said, "You know what? The stuff we be asking about ain't nothing. 'Cause we were going to be at the same theater on that Sunday and Saturday anyway." He said, "I tell you what. See them dudes coming here, they from Watts, man. Y'all fighting the Mexicans from Watts. We fighting the black dudes from Watts." He said, "I'm going to help y'all get down, man." And so Little Florence and Slauson jumped on the dudes from Quarter Watts and made them get up out of there. Okay, but Rhodes made a thing to write down. He said, "After this, man, no more hassle." And my dad said, "Okay, I got you, Roach." And from 1957, this is in 57. Remember, I told you a lot of shit happened in 57. Mm-hmm. Everything goes to 57. But it's other dates too. 59 was a hell of a year. It didn't even got up to 59 yet, And Mariano agreed, and they got out. And from 1957 until these fools around here, East Coast and Florence got into it. From 57 to the 90s. Okay, it might have been some little fights at school and stuff like that. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm talking about this is a little war, and they put race in it too. See, it was no hassle between any blacks and any Mexicans. And see, matter of fact, in East Coast, a dude told me from Florence. Okay, he told me, he said that when they got into it 38th Street one time, they were short on pieces. They said they got their guns from East Coast Crips. See? And everything. And I used to see them riding in the car. Because, you got some black dudes from Florence. I ain't going to name no names. Okay, but I didn't know. I mean, I seen these dudes supposed to be East Coast, but I've been walked around where I used to live. They was giving parties up the street from me. And I seen black dudes and everything. They was East Coast Crips in Florence parties. And vice versa.